Hi there, and welcome to this special lesson on how to move from intermediate to advanced English. Now, before we start, if you want to activate the subtitles for this video, go ahead and click the little CC icon so you can have the subtitles. And this is the first part of a special mini course that we're going to do over the next few days to help you, get back from summer vacation and start, let's say, the back to school period, but just get back in, the right way of learning English. And we're going to just have a special mini course about achieving advanced English through virtual immersion. And today we're going to do part one, which is moving from intermediate to advanced English. Sometimes this can be really hard if you're stuck at the intermediate level, and we're going to do just an entire little series about how to get to that advanced level. So, to start off, maybe this is what your English progress feels like today. It feels like you've hit a brick wall. You're maybe at an intermediate level, around B1, B2. And when you're at this level, it's actually quite normal to feel stuck, because when you're at a lower level, like you're a beginner or an elementary level, you actually see progress faster because you're starting with so little. And so when you're a beginner, it can feel great. You learn two new phrases and you're like, wow, I can do something new. But, learning is not a straight line. Like we imagine that we always progress and we always advance at the same rhythm as we develop. But in fact, there is this thing called the law of diminishing returns, which means that the more you advance in a skill, the harder it is to advance even more. So you'll make a lot of progress at the start, and then when you hit that intermediate level, it becomes actually harder to make the same amount of progress. And this is also what we call the intermediate plateau. Maybe you've heard me talk about this before. It's where you just get like to this point where you feel like you're stagnating and you're not really progressing up to that expert level or just that advanced level that you want to get to. Now, the reason for this in English is that as you move to advanced levels, the language becomes more abstract and nuanced, which means you don't use it as much. So the key is to really focus on the things that are useful and relevant to you. That's really going to help you to learn these more advanced things. Because when it's relevant and when it's useful, your brain works harder to retain it because your brain knows that, hey, this is important, I need this, I better remember it. Oh, and I haven't introduced myself yet, so let me go ahead and just say, who I am in case you're new to this channel. So my name is Christina, and I'm the creator of Speak English with Christina. I am originally from Mississippi in the USA. I have a master's degree in American civilization. I've got a diploma, the Cambridge Diploma of Teaching English to Adults. I'm also a certified neuro-language coach as of very recently. And I've been teaching business English since 2004. And I speak a few other languages, C2, fluent in French, and I also speak a good, elementary level German, let's say. I make lots of mistakes, but that's okay. As for Speak English with Christina, I created this in 2015. Now we've got 3 online courses. We've got a special conversation program. I do coaching and individual programs. And I'm very excited that I actually have the chance to work with a team of 6 qualified expert teachers, a certified business communication coach, and we're helping over 400,000 subscribers and more than 800 students to improve their English. And if you speak French, you may have seen me in just some places like Cadre Emploi, Cadréo, L'Express Entreprise. or the blog Pôle Emploi, where, I've been featured there as well. Now, getting back to how to help you to move to advanced English. We're going to look at, how to attack the problem effectively, because sometimes this is one of the challenges when you're at an intermediate level, is how to improve effectively and efficiently. What we need to do is to attack your English from all sides, but in a very coordinated, strategic way. And we're going to do this through two different types of learning. We've got natural learning. So this is like absorbing the language through exposure, reading, listening, things like that. And then we've also got deliberate learning, where this is really you're working on your English. You're studying to learn and understand new things. So natural learning, this could be things like listening to podcasts, just conversations that you have with friends or colleagues or conversation partners. Could be reading books and magazines and things like that. Whereas deliberate learning, this is where you're really making a conscious effort. Maybe you're studying the transcript from the podcast that you listened to. Maybe you're doing a structured conversation program, like my Fluency Club, where you've got specific vocabulary and a topic to try to practice. Or maybe you're using an app like Quizlet, where you are learning and memorizing the vocabulary that you have discovered in your reading. So there's two different types of learning, and these are just some examples. Now, when you combine them, you've got the natural listening, the natural conversation practice, randomly discovering new vocabulary and new grammar structures, and you combine that with deliberate listening, like listening specifically to train your ear, structured conversation practice with a specific objective, learning that new vocabulary and revising it and those grammar structures. When you combine these forces, this is what is going to help you to really master spoken English and get up to that advanced level. Now, one of the big things that I hear from students all the time is this, kind of excuse, I think, is when they say, yes, but okay, that's very good, but I just really have to go to the country and immerse myself. I mean, that's the only way I can do it. Now, that's great, but I say it's an excuse because there's a lot of difficulties of doing that. You have to take off time from work. You've got to manage your family. There's the budget, the cost, the logistics, and it can be quite challenging. So an alternative to that, which is much easier to put into place, which you can do it's a virtual immersion. Now, what is virtual immersion? It's basically creating an environment where you're surrounded by English, like an immersion. You're blending that focused, deliberate learning with the natural, incidental learning, just like you would in an immersion program where maybe you would have lessons in the morning and then the afternoon you're out exploring, New York City or London or wherever. So you're combining the two. And you're carefully choosing the resources that are relevant and useful for your life so that it's efficient, it's helpful, it's practical, and you remember it better. Now, why does this work? Because, like we saw earlier, you're really attacking the problem from all sides, but in a very strategic, useful way. That means also that you're able to identify the places where you've hit a brick wall, the places where you're really struggling and you just can't, get to that next advanced point. And, you can feel it almost, but then we're going to help you to break through it. Because with a virtual immersion program, maybe you're also working with a teacher or a mentor who can tell you exactly what resources are the best to help you to destroy that brick wall, start breaking it down and getting over to that other side, to that more advanced level of English. So it's also super effective because you're focusing on the right things at the right moment. You're not just randomly learning, lessons in a grammar book that you don't really need right now. You're learning the things that you need right now so that you can use them, so you can learn them and consolidate them. Because when you're interested in the things that you're learning, it's more emotional. You're more engaged with it, which means that it sticks better in your brain, and that's what learning is. And when you do all of this, it's really going to accelerate your progress. If you're stuck at that intermediate plateau, this is going to help you to accelerate up to that advanced level. So, what I'm going to do today, that's just a little introduction, and the next lesson we're going to go into more, practical ways of actually implementing this kind of program. But I want to give you one very small, very easy take action tip that you can do after this lesson to start, let's say, gently building the habit, starting on your journey to a virtual immersion. So I want you to install the app Evernote on your phone, or you can use any other note-taking app on your phone. And then when you're reading something in English, or you're watching a series or a movie or anything like that, whenever you discover an interesting, useful expression, just take a minute and note that in your app, in Evernote or Notepad or whatever, and try to get 5 interesting expressions that are relevant and useful for you. For the next week, I want you to review your expressions at least 3 times per day. So one of the key practices in a virtual immersion program is consistency and regularity. And, each time you review them, imagine a conversation in your head with these expressions. So you're going to actually, visualize yourself in a situation where you're using these expressions. So something from your real life, something very concrete. And in the next lesson, we're going to look at why you're struggling to get to this advanced level and how to solve that problem. We're going to look at the top performer mindset and the habits that you need to advance. So we talked about that just a little bit earlier, being regular and being consistent. And we're also going to look at 5 instant changes that you can make to level up your English now. And, we're going to start progressively on your path to building your virtual immersion. Now, in the comments below this video, I want you to share with me, what resources and activities are you already using to learn English. I'm sure that you've got some favorite resources or apps or other things that you're already using, and tell us, how are they helping you? How are you using this tool to help you move to a more advanced level in English? And if you want to be sure to get the next lessons in this mini course, go ahead and sign up at ChristinaRebuffet.com so that I can send you the lesson directly. And also I can send you my American Accent Survival Kit, which is going to help start training your ear to understand those messy sounds that you hear when Americans speak fast or speak at normal speed for an American. All right, so that's it for today, and I will see you next time for part 2, where we're going to look at what it takes to reach an advanced level in English. All right, good luck with your take action tip. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye.